Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
What happened? A 2-year-old rushed to Children's Hospital after being stabbed. This troubling story tops our news this noon. Good afternoon to you. I'm Rhonda Walker.
And I'm Evrod Kasumi. We're told the child was stabbed by a family member. Let's get out live to Local 4's Jacqueline Francis. She joins us now from in front of the hospital there, or from this apartment complex. And Jacqueline, do we know how the child is doing right now and what led up to all this?
We're told the child is in stable condition, and I just finished speaking with a neighbor. That neighbor tells me she believes that toddler was staying with his grandmother when this all happened. Now, police did not go into that detail yet. What police are telling us is that just before 2 this morning, a 2-year-old boy was stabbed by a relative. That relative, a 56-year-old woman, was arrested. Now, the 2-year-old was taken to the hospital, again said to be in stable condition. According to police, it's not known why the woman stabbed the child, and also that report didn't specify if anyone else was in the apartment at the time of the incident. Now, circling back to that neighbor I spoke with, she says that her neighbor was a grandmother, often watched her grandkids at that apartment unit. She can't imagine anything like this would have happened, and while she didn't see police, she did hear a toddler crying in the middle of the night, but she didn't think anything of it. So we're still piecing together this story. We'll be sure to bring you more answers later on. Reporting live in Detroit, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
All right, Jacqueline, very troubling. Thank you.
Right now at noon, we do want to keep you updated on the forecast. Things are changing just a little bit, as we have seen progressively throughout this week.
I'm going to need to warm up.
In the right direction,
I'm going to need it in like the next couple of hours, Brandon.
Can you give me like 4 or 5? It's going to take a while, and unfortunately, as much power as I think I have, I don't have that kind of power, but we are going to see a very nice warm-up eventually. But we're struggling in the clouds right now. It's still just 34 in Pontiac, 40 at Metro, and 38 up in Lapeer. Winds out of the southwest, trying to shove this moisture out of here, trying to bring some warmer air in. But in the meantime, wind chills are mainly in the lower 30s if you're heading out and about. We've got a wintry mix. We've had physical reports of some flakes flying in Farmington Hills and Southfield, parts of Oakland County. As we warm a little bit, it's less and less of a snow issue, but these showers moving at about 20-25 miles an hour to the south and east, so some slightly heavier mix or rain coming into Walled Lake, Milford, Wixom here shortly. Also Commerce Township, and not all of it, again, will be flakes. We'll see just a little spit and drizzle, but not all day. Over the next couple of hours, dealing with a little of this. A lot of it is north, but eventually, late afternoon, starting to clear and barely starting to warm, near 50.
All right, Brandon, thank you. We are working to get more information about who police have in custody in connection to the death of a teenage girl whose body was found along I-94. The body of 17-year-old Taya Land was found Friday on I-94 right near 8 Mile. This is over in St. Clair Shores. Police say the girl appeared to have been shot in the head. They have not said if she was shot on the freeway or if the crime happened somewhere else. But state police executed 2 search warrants in the city of Southfield, and they did take 2 people into custody. And then after an investigation, 1 person was released. The other is still in custody pending charges. And an investigation is underway after 1 person is found dead in an early morning house fire. It happened on Detroit's east side on Corbett Street. We're told the body was burned beyond recognition. At this time, we do know that the home was vacant. We are working to get more information.
For several hours yesterday, a woman barricaded herself inside of a home. That barricaded situation ended peacefully yesterday evening on Detroit's west side. The woman with multiple weapons inside of that house on Artesia near Tireman in the Southfield Freeway. Police believe that she was also dealing with a mental health issue and had not been taking her medication. A 15-year-old was very helpful in getting the handgun out of the house and out of a window to police. 2 children were also removed from the home along with a man who had been stabbed.
The accused Oxford High School shooter is still in the Oakland County Jail after his monthly court hearing. Every 30 days, the teen has to have a hearing to determine if there's a reason for him to be moved from the Oakland County Jail to a juvenile facility. As you know, he's charged with murder as an adult in the deaths of 4 students at Oxford High School back on November 30th. Back in June, his trial was moved to January. This was at the request of his attorneys.
Michigan State Police make a drug bust at a bakery in Melvindale. The Metro Narcotics Enforcement Team say that they began an investigation into a prescription pill dealer who was involved in a deadly overdose. Detectives executed 2 different search warrants on a home and on a bakery in Melvindale, seizing more than 300 prescription pills, $5,000 in cash, and large amounts of expensive jewelry.
And now some sad news from Frankenmuth this afternoon. The president and owner of the famous Frankenmuth Bavarian Inn Lodge has died.
Yes, if you have been to Frankenmuth, then you know the name very well. Judy Zender Keller. She passed away at home with her family nearby. She was 77 years old. She worked at the Bavarian Inn restaurant in 1960, led the company through 6 expansions, and built the Bavarian Inn Lodge in 1986. She leaves behind quite a legacy. Judy is the second owner of an iconic Frankenmuth institution to actually pass away this week alone. On Sunday, you may remember the matriarch of Bronner's, Irene Bronner, died at the age of 95. Right now, our Rod Maloney is there in Frankenmuth to bring us more later today.
Yeah, later tonight at 5. In fact, we're going to take a look at how these 2 women, along with their families, of course, chose the tiny town of Frankenmuth and really helped build it into this top tourist destination here in our state of Michigan.
Yes, and it's a place that we'll continue to enjoy, but our hearts are certainly with their families as they mourn these matriarchs from their family. Still to come, a shakeup in the UK political world.
Yeah, after just 6 weeks on the job, the UK Prime Minister has resigned amid economic turmoil in the country. We'll take a closer look at that.
But first, countdown to the midterms. Both sides of the aisle out in full force, making sure they have the votes by November.